Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block mining ship that's been very elegantly and simply designed. So if you're just after a very basic mining ship to go out and about and scout for ore patches, collect up a bunch of material, or just make a giant hole through an asteroid, then this is a ship for you. So this is called the DSE Bumblebee, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently driving. So this is a hydrogen-only ship, features 3 large block small cargo containers, got a spotlight on their side, got 2 drills to make a nice big hole, and a very sleek design with some armor panels covering up our important internals along the top there, just to help you from any kind of lumps and bumps that happen when driving through an asteroid. So all this thing cannot do is mine straight through an asteroid, but you can use the right mouse button to make a big hole and just keep driving all the way through. So you can use this to make a base in an asteroid if that's what you want to do, but once again you can't just keep holding down left mouse button and moving forwards like some ships tend to go for. Yes, what we're going to do is press F10, find the spawn menu, then we're going to have a look around the outside, test it out, and that'll be that. So the Bumblebee is 87 large blocks using the Heavy Industry and Deco Block DLC packs. We see here's very short description, they're small, chubby and adorable and ready to fulfill your mining needs. What more could you ask for? So go give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a look around the outside like I said, and then we'll go from there. So at the very front for the Bumblebee, this is what we get, and that's an industrial cockpit to drive this thing around with 100 thrusts up one side to slow ourselves down, and then a spotlight on the opposite to light up the darkness. Right in front of them we then got our 2 drills being partially covered up by some armor panels in a hazardous skin, and that's being conveyed all the way up towards our cargo containers built into the middle of the main body. Coming around onto the side, here we go, with some fantastic use of some blue steel blocks just to act as a little fin on the side there. Yes, there's some hydrogen tanks, all the way across to here, here's some more hydrogen thrusters, a little battery with a gyroscope on the end. Then moving all the way around, here we go, we then got some, almost like a spoiler at the back here, which is the only part that I can see actually taking damage if you are being quite reckless when driving through an asteroid. They do stick out quite far, and it's going to be very easy to damage them, so you can remove them if that's what you want to do. Yes, at the very back of this thing, here we go, so there's our gyroscope, there's our projector to project the entire ship to repair it all up if it ever took damage. Then onto the left is your beacon to make sure you can always find this thing. Moving all the way up and looking down, there we are, that's all the spins at the back there have been set up. On the top here, some fantastic use for our armor panels, just covering up all of our important internals like I said, but there it's another hydrogen thruster to help move you down. Then at the front there we go. Moving all the way down underneath this thing, here we are, putting on my light, so there's a connector to dock it up, there's a merge block also to dock it up, 2 hydrogen thrusters to keep you off the ground, there's your battery, projector, gyroscope and beacon at the very back, and a very clear view at our hydrogen tanks right below there. They'll eventually link up to your 3 cargo containers to store all your stuff inside. And with that, that's the outside of the Bumblebee, and this is fantastic how it's all been set up, and should prove very useful if you want to have a much more smaller and easier to build mining ship in your world, if say you don't want to build one yourself. But yes, very quickly, pressing I, coming to the control panel, in fact we want to be over here, hiding up that, and there we are. So here's our cargo containers, our connectors, and all the stuff inside. So as you can see from when I've been testing this out on the asteroid with a bloody great hole, which we'll see in just a moment, we can see we can store 42,000 stone in each of our small cargo containers. Then up there in our connector, we store 21,000. Depending on world settings, could be a lot, or could be a little. But yes, that's still perfectly enough to use in survival mode. So say you spot an ore patch on the surface of an asteroid, you can very easily use this as a surface miner, collect it all up, or just use this to go out and about and collect stone up to turn it into precious resources for a survival kit and whatnot. But anyway, coming out of this, grab my hold my character, bring up the HUD, these are the controls we get. Number 2 we're not going to go through, but this is for our projector system, to project the entire ship and of course to move it around depending on what we want to do. Over to tab number 1, we then got our thrusters on and off, there we go, our beacon on and off, our connector, lock and unlock that, our merge block on and off, gyroscope power which is very much needed when this thing is empty because it's incredibly uncontrollable. Then number 7 for that spotlight at the front, on and off. Then number 9 is a control I added because it's not on here by default, but that's to take over your drills and to start mining stuff up. But yes, bear in mind this thing is completely full up, moving the mouse around, this thing is, well, it is very responsive, and as you can expect, without anything in the cargo containers, this thing is going to be incredibly, well, just almost uncontrollable due to the fact that a slight flick of the mouse is going to spin this thing a full 360. But anyway, enough of that, turning around over to here, and looking at the hole I made earlier, we're now going to drive all the way up to it very carefully now to show you that it can go all the way through an asteroid if you were to say hold down the right mouse button. Once again, holding down left mouse button is not going to do anything, so we're going to keep moving forwards. Here we go, very carefully now, and there we are. We can just hold down right mouse button and keep going all the way through. In the first person view, coming all the way up to this little edge, here we go. Now going to keep mining up the stone using the left mouse button, And as you can see, we are going to just hit into the cockpit eventually. That's going to signal that we are at our limits. There we are, we can't go any further. And the ship's going to start tilting all the way around. So that means we've got to reverse this thing all the way up and take it out the hole. So we go lifting that up, relining the camera, moving it away, there we go, pulling it all the way back. And there we are. So that's all it does. But yes, while this thing is full up, let's go do a quick little thruster test, and then we'll end the video there because there's not too much else to talk about because it's very self-explanatory with what it does. So relining this, there we are, moving forwards, here we go, being all full up, all of our cargo containers, all of our connectors completely up to the brim. As you can see, we are very slow, but it's not too bad at the end there. We've got reasonable speed out of this, so if you have a larger ship nearby, if you've got a space station nearby, this thing will be perfect for just scooting around nearby asteroids and collecting up resources. Letting that come to a stop, that's as you expect, one thruster forwards and backwards, so nothing changes there. Gonna be the exact same on our left and right. And of course down, moving up. Moving up will be faster than everything else. We've got one extra thruster, which is very much needed if you were to go in a low gravity environment. Then as for gyroscope controls, as you can see, what we saw earlier, this thing is, well, very nicely controlled when all full up, which makes a nice change compared to other mining ships I've showcased on this channel. But if you're spawning a fresh one, yes, it's spawning the brand new one completely empty, comes to the cockpit, and this could be a completely different story. So here we go, and there we are. This thing is just, well, just moving the mouse around slightly. It's really unresponsive, but that's why the gyroscopes have been included on the hotbar, so you can fine-tune it to your personal preference. And with that, we're going to hop back over to the heavy one. I suppose what we can do is to take over to the black hole in the distance and blow up that way once again. So here we are, we are at the very center of the black hole, in the dead middle, zooming the camera all the way away. In fact, I can't even do that. There's the outer ring. We're now about to slam into the ground, 400 meters out. First person view, here we go. And there we are, there is the very center of the black hole. And that thing will be utterly annihilated. Putting on my light, putting on my jetpack, can we see anything going on in here? No, we cannot. It's just been absolutely destroyed, and nothing is remaining. That's a very fitting way to end this video. As it stands, it's a bloody good little mining ship to use in the wild. If you do want to have something more smaller, more simpler to use, and to use as a very first miner in survival mode, or just to use as a small little companion to take along with your large ship, or go on your adventure with that. You never know when you might need to deploy a small mining ship, so it's always handy to have one on standby. So yes, there'll be a link to a description below to check out and play around yourself, as well as a link to the Skybox I'm currently using, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.